Well, you know, they were really cooking early with their offense. We were having trouble with them. But we were also having trouble with the offensive end. Their offense is pretty good. It didn't seem like we got any clean looks early. I mean, even the 1-3 that Zach made was not a clean look. So it changed the sort of the complexion of the game in terms of style. It slowed it down a little bit. And there's plenty of time, so it enabled us to get it back. You know, it's 21-5, and then all of a sudden it's 23-8, it's 23-10, and all of a sudden it's 23-15 and 23-17, and the crowd got really involved, and we were getting some steals, and we were working to get some baskets. We got some loose stuff, and we weren't getting anything loose early, and we stayed after them in glass, which you have to do against this team.
Have you ever seen a game turn around like that quickly?
You know, I've seen, I've been involved in comebacks like that. I mean, rarely are you down 15 and win by 20. But that got away from them at the end. Wasn't really didn't feel like a 20-point win.
Coach, your press was really.
This guy, he's just playing so well. I mean, he's doing everything. He's handling the ball, he's making passes, he's in the press, he's rebounding in traffic, he's hitting threes, he's dunking the ball, he's stealing the ball. I mean, what can you say about him? I mean, arguably playing better than anybody else we have right now. With all due respect to Marble, who's been spectacular. There's so many guys. Cassell was tremendous today, no turnovers. We got great performances from a lot of people.
With Eric, how much do you think it's a sense of urgency? He's your only senior.
I don't think it's a sense of urgency at all, Pat. I think it's a guy who has tremendous character and work ethic and has figured it all out. He's been through a lot. He went through a coaching change. They play one style, they go to another style. He feels pressure to score when he's a freshman or sophomore. When he's playing for me, we needed him to score. And then last year he had some injuries that he has to overcome, and he's feeling pressure again. He might lose his starting job. Now he's relaxed. He knows our offense. He knows everywhere we have to line up. He knows what I want out of timeouts. He knows what I want when we're on the free throw line. And he is the guy that's telling everybody what we're doing. And everybody seems to feel better when he's out there.
You were down 21-5. You had all 5 of your starters on the bench. Were you trying to make a point to them? Or?
No, I was not. I yanked a couple guys. We had a couple bad mistakes early. I took Aaron White out because he was exhausted. I mean, that happens to him sometimes. But if you don't get him by the first media, you could just look at him. And then I went back to him. Basabi didn't play well at the start, and then really played well in the second half. I thought that was big. Same with Woodbury. Woodbury and Basabi, slow starts, much better in the second half.
Coach, your press gave them a lot of trouble. It's kind of sparked the comeback. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Well, what it did was it got them playing east and west instead of north and south. They were using clock. We got a lead. They were real tentative and taking time. And then we got a couple steals, which gives you if you steal it in the press, you're going to get a run out. And, we got a couple easy baskets, and then we got fouled because we were in a bonus early in the second half. When you're up, you get the bonus early, that's huge, and then we got into the double bonus, and then it's really hard to go back.
Basabi really seemed to play with a lot of attention. I mean, he was really going after...
Yeah, until he ran out of gas. He ran out of gas at the end, but his energy level, you're right, and his concentration, and I think that's been a difference with him. He has been really good in those areas where before he was a little bit inconsistent. Being locked in defensively and being in the right place offensively and getting there when he's supposed to get there and not late. He kind of moseys around sometimes, and we're ready to go, and he's not ready to go, and that screws everything up. So he's getting more and more locked into that kind of stuff.
He had a steal on the sideline there, and a really nice pass then.
It was a great read.
Yeah.
It was a great read because he made it look open, and then he took it away. And he should do that more with his length and his athleticism. And that's a guy that's locked in now that wouldn't have made that play a year ago.
You had as many steals today as you did turnovers. What does that say about this game?
Well, it says that I think we recognize there was a sense of urgency in the game. It says, that we're reacting appropriately. And, when you get behind, you can't be turning the ball over. You got to come down, you got to get a shot. If you get a shot, it might go in, you might get the rebound. 2 good things happen. When you shoot the ball, if you turn it over against this team, it's typically a dunk. And that was, clearly a point of emphasis for us this week. You can't turn the ball over, and you can't take crazy shots that are long and they go, and all of a sudden Williams and everybody's dunking the ball in.
The way that you responded today, are you hopeful that this sort of sets the tone for the rest of the season?
Absolutely. I mean, you know, we're playing well. I mean, we're playing better. We've got a lot of different individuals contributing to what we're doing. And this is a time of year where teams tend to tire and feel pressure. You know, for us, we've got so many different players contributing. Everybody's ready to go. Nobody knows who's going to get it done tonight, and it's a beautiful thing.
You talk about the sense of urgency, but then you look and you're down 21-5. I mean, a team could have collapsed, could have felt the pressure in the moment, but just talk about how you feel about the way your
Well,
team
the
responded.
thing you got to remember is, you know, they came into this game with a sense of urgency as well. You know, you got to give them credit for how they played at the start of the game. They jumped us. You know, they went on the road and they jumped us. I mean, that's a really good basketball team with, you know, one of the best coaches of our generation. And, you know, a lot of times, like you said, our team could have wilted right there and just packed it in. But, you know, we haven't shown that we're going to do that anytime at all this year. And I mean, it's a great thing.
Is this an emotional second win for you guys, or is it just simply a continuation of a season-long progression?
I think the latter. You know, it's a big win today. You know, it was the next hurdle for us. You know, at some point you got to stop talking about what happened up there. You know, that happened 2 weeks ago. It's ancient history. What's going to happen today? And then how do we prepare tomorrow? And how do we prepare to go up to play Nebraska? And that's all we're thinking about, is Nebraska.
A lot of teams hit walls this time of year, 2/3 into a conference season. Why have you not?
Because of our depth. You know, and it's a great thing for me personally, because I have typically played a short bench. You know, I've said that over and over. My head coaching stops, I've played 7. Like I always say, sometimes I play 7.5. You know, I play one guy a little bit, depending upon the situation. But I'm playing 10 every night, and I am not uncomfortable going to 11. So I think, you know, when you talk about Mike hitting that wall, when you've got 10 guys ready to go, you're not going to hit that wall because they're all playing half the game. Or, you know, there's a few guys that might play, like for example, the other night, the South, he played 34. He hasn't played 34 minutes with that level of effectiveness in a long time, and he did it on the road in a very difficult environment. So that was a game where he played more than somebody else, but there might be a game when he plays less. I mean, today he played 22 minutes, but that's the kind of team we have.
Is he officially out of whatever he was in?
What's that?
Is Devin officially out of whatever he was in?
Yeah, I think so.
You guys got a second for the TV interviews. What'd you say to him on the court?
What did I say on the court? Well, you know, he talked about the start and how we overcome the start. We talked about the press. We talked about the zone. And I don't remember what the second question was.
What did you say to Devin?
Yeah.
Oh, what did I say to Devin?
Say to Devin.
Oh, right before I got
Yeah,
interviewed.
right before.
Oh, my bad.
That's it.
I told him, you know, I said, that's who you are. You know, I told him I was proud of him. You know, it gets to a point sometimes where you just keep getting asked over and over what's wrong. He was in a little bit of a slump. You know, he, for the first time, I thought, was playing a little. He's never been a tentative guy. He's not a tentative person. Anything he does, and he was a little tentative. At Minnesota, at Wisconsin, you know, I thought. And I just said, look, you're my guy. I'm staying with you. We're going to keep running stuff for you late. I'm going to have you on the floor late. I want you to shoot the ball. I want you to attack the basket. The only thing I want to say to you is, sometimes when guys get into shooting slumps, they overanalyze the shot. Sometimes you're shooting when you're covered. And he had a tendency to do that in that stretch. So therefore, your percentages are going to be lousy. I said, shoot the ball when you're open, drive the ball when there's space, move it on when you're covered, and just be who you are, and we'll be fine.
Was there any sense of looking at the score, it was 21-5, it was 14-2 in Minnesota, and here we go again, what are we doing this for?
Well, you know, yeah, I don't think I would look at it that way. I would look at it more like, what do we have to do right now against this team? What were they doing to us? Why were they up by that much? And they were up and it's good. And they were doing some switching, and they were making the next pass difficult, and we were kind of catching it, not facing the basket. So we went to some sets and tried to, you know, put people in positions where we would get a better shot. And we changed the defense, we changed the lineup, And little by little, we just crept back into it. So, you know, I don't think you're thinking about what happened 2 weeks ago, what happened against somebody else, but what do we got to do right now? That's what's going through my head.
Two more questions.
Coach, Aaron White really got aggressive to spur that run in the first half. How big was his play today?
Well, I think what was great about it in particular was how he was driving the ball to the basket. I mean, you know he's going to get rebounds, you know he's going to attack occasionally and dunk the ball, he's going to shoot the ball a little bit, he's going to get some pokeaways, I mean, but he was making a clear effort to drive the ball to the basket, get to the free throw line, get us into the bonus, stop the clock, allow us to press. And that impacts the game dramatically.
Coach, looking ahead to Nebraska, can you talk about that?
Well, they're playing very well, and we're going there. And, you know, Tally's playing extremely well. Gallegos, U-Bill's one of the best offensive rebounders in the country. Timmy's done a terrific job. I really like their team. They're going to challenge us in a lot of ways, and we just have to be ready for them.
Okay.
Thank you.
Interviews in here.